Episode 17.
Yeah, flying through them.
We are. And this, I don't know if this is going to be a good one or not. So
I've capped you.
Yeah, you are. So the subject of today's episode is what pisses you off. And I've been told I'm only allowed to give a small list because I was starting to make my list then, and then one thing leads into another with me when I think about what pisses me off.
Yeah. But then you had to ask me, of which I could do you an additional 10.
Yeah. They all centre around idiots.
Well, obviously.
But yeah, we'll break them down a little bit later. So, and we'd love to, like, if you're watching, which you are, if you're watching, subscribe now, and also tell us what pisses you off in the comments, and we can have a bit of fun because we all have like little things that'll wind us up more than others, don't we?
Definitely.
And like, yeah, so it's interesting to see what pisses people off. And sometimes when someone tells you something that pisses them off, you're like, oh yeah, that fucks me off, and you can get stuck into it. So we'll do that in a bit. We've
updates, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got updates. We've got Torie's top tip, and we've got a question from Kelly, Kelly Winard. So updates, we'll do them quick. So CrossFit Games in affiliate individual semi-finals have just took place, and Tom, who we did update shows with, came 14th in the entire fucking world, which is insane. Like, when I spoke to Tom, he just wanted to, his goal was to do the best he could possibly do. I think it's safe to say he fucking did that. But it was that close to making it that I think, I feel for him so much, because I think he was like, this year was kind of more see what he can take from the top guys, beat some in a few workouts, gather some confidence, with the focus on to maybe qualifying next year.
Yeah.
But to get so close and not make it must be fucking, I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it? Are you like buzzing with your achievement, or are you, because you were so close, like, would he have been happier coming 20th?
Yeah,
quite far away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have him back on and have a chat with him about it, see how he's feeling. But the leaderboard isn't final till the 19th of May. So any penalties that get assessed, he could arguably make it. So he's done amazing. Same with Harry Keane and the guys from AOD. They made it. That leaderboard's final now, so they're in. And Harry Lightfoot, he made it as well. But he's on the cut line, so he's 11th, and the top 11 go. So any penalties again,
right?
It could be squeaky bum time. Amy Kringle, she was in 11th. Now she's 12th. So yeah, it must be so fucking hard for them guys. Like, they work their entire year for these moments, and then they literally just sat powerless, just watching.
Yeah.
Because they could arguably move back up and down a spot. So, but that's the nature of the game, I guess. And it's made it really exciting. So that's the updates on the CrossFit semi-finals. For us, we've got a bit on, haven't we? Next few weeks. So CrossFest is the next weekend. It'll happen bit time this, because I hate all that shit.
I know.
Weekend after, we've got the Defiant Games, and the weekend after, we're at stop number 3 on the affiliate tour. And the next affiliate video from Project, that'll be out.
That looks good. Pretty
soon. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you subscribe so that you see it all firsthand. And then lastly, we're just going to give the plug to the Defiant ones, like we do each time. We're up to, I think it's like just over 80 athletes now signed up for the qualifier. Obviously, it's going to gather legs because you've got until the end of July. So people always, spring to action a little bit later. So yeah, just if you've not looked at that yet, go on Team Aritas. It's the first competition that comes up because it's classed as live, so you can't miss it. And get signed up and test yourself in our brand new individual, all-inclusive fitness comp.
Exciting.
So I think that is it for updates, because you always tell me that I bang on too much.
It was only one time.
Yeah, I know, but it cut deep, so I'm remembering it. So yeah. So what do you want to do next? Do you want to do your top tip? Do you want to answer Kelly's question? The pet peeves have to be at the end, because I'll be that fuming after addressing them that I'll not be able to function.
Looking forward to it. Hold on, wait with you then. That's great.
Yeah, me too. For very different reasons.
Let's do Kelly's question.
Kelly's question?
Yeah.
Right, well, you're first then. So she asks, is it important to be liked / popular? Now, I overanalyze this because I think liked and popular are two different things, but for the basis of this,
you're going to take it on the surface.
Let's consider that they're the same.
I'm going to give my live answer, because once upon a time it would probably be very different, but I don't think it's important to be liked. I'd prefer to be, what's the word? I prefer to be seen as like a nice person to everyone, but I don't have to be liked. So I'm not a dickhead, and I know we're very different. Like I like you don't care who you upset if your opinion is right.
You just said I'm not a dickhead, so we're very different.
Well, yeah, but you always say, "Well, I am a dickhead."
Yeah, well, that's what people say to people that they don't understand, isn't it?
Understand?
That was good, wasn't it?
That was good. Well kept in. No, I don't think it's important to be liked. I think it's important that you are the best version of you, and I like, as long as I'm a nice person, and I would prefer to be respected as a nice person than liked, because you can't be liked by everybody.
So when you say nice person, do you mean as long as you're a good person, then it doesn't matter about anything else?
Yeah, if you don't like me because of that, as long as I always feel like I'm a good person and doing right by me, that if I'm liked, then great. If I'm not liked, then that's absolutely fine, because it's not like I've tried not to be. Like, as long as I'm always nice. And it was even stupid things I thought about in the gym this morning. And there were these two old ladies, and I can't remember what she said to me. And we had a full-blown conversation. She's like, "Oh, it's been really nice to speak to you." And I thought, I bet most of the time, like, people don't even chat. Like, we'll literally just give it 5 minutes of my time. I can't remember what we were talking about. But it was just, and then I came away going, "Oh, I feel like that was nice."
Did you feel like you restored the old people's faith in the youth of today?
In a change room as well. Like, most people just put the head down and get the stuff done. So it was just, it was just really cute. And I was like, oh, may have sparked someone, like made someone's day. So yeah, just little things like that. So as long as I feel like I'm doing the best for me, then I don't mind if I'm liked or not liked. What about you?
I agree with what you're saying there, because I think that if you are a good person by your standards, then fuck anyone else, because they're choosing to dislike you for something. And I always think things like that, if someone is a good person and someone dislikes them, it's some form of jealousy, or there's something there that's not quite right in that person that dislikes someone that's a good person. And you are right, not everyone's going to like everyone. No. But equally, I think you don't have to like everyone, but to dislike someone for nothing is about that person and not the other, isn't it?
I'm a great believer, and I think you need to judge everybody on your own merit.
Yeah, I guess, but then you don't know what's going on in other people's lives. I guess.
Oh, no, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm with you though. My answer to that's like, it's a bit probably not what you'd think, because it's important for, like us as the face of the Defiant Co. We have to be weird, isn't it? Because we have to be liked. If people didn't like us, then they wouldn't buy from us. We wouldn't have a business. Yeah. So it's that balance there where, like, I want to be liked like you for who I am, and we give a good representation of who we are in the face of the brand. I think we live the values of it. We've talked about it before. I feel like we're always honest when we're on here. Yeah. But like some people, I guess, if you are a business owner, they might think that they have to do what everyone wants them to do. When there's trends going around, whether it be BLM month, Pride month, all those months that you see the big corporations jump on, and then like literally it gets to end of month and they drop it all. And it's things like that. They obviously put a premium on being liked by the masses, and to be liked by the masses, you have to go along with what the latest trend is. So I think that's interesting, like from a business point of view, of like being seen to do the right thing, regardless of what you believe, so that you don't lose or you can get new customers. So I think that's strange. And we'll never do that. We have to be true to ourselves, and that's what makes us great, I think, in what we do. But yeah, in terms of personally, I don't think it's my answer's pretty much bang on yours. Like, I don't care, like, really. Like, I think it's just one of those things, isn't it? You can't, not everybody's going to like you, and as long as you're happy with who you are, then I think you can take the hit from people that dislike you, and they might dislike something that you say. But that's another thing about society today, isn't it? It's like, if you dislike something that someone says, that means you automatically have to hate that person, and that's it. And I think that's frustrating sometimes. Like, I don't know. If it can be as simple as like Elon Musk will say something, and then you might like it, so you might share it to social media. So then you'll get those people that are like, "Oh, so you support Hitler's, dear?" You're like, "What just happened? How did we get from me sharing something that we can all agree is probably true to that means I'm this?" And so that's why I think it's very important to not give a fuck whether people like you or not, because those people that focus so much on all that stuff that doesn't concern them and they can't control, they're going to dislike this thing today and then this thing tomorrow. So if you try to worry about all those and make everybody like you, you'll never win. Because Elon Musk is a great example, you know, up until, what would you say, 18 months ago, he was the hero of the left because he had the cure to climate change through his electric cars and his efficiencies that his companies ran. And 18 months later, they're burning his Teslas because why? He's the same guy. So it just shows that being liked is very much like, it's something, it's an unachievable goal if your objective is to be liked by everyone.
It'd be exhausting.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think we agreed on one really there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was interesting. So I would, yeah, your top tip. We're flying through this. What are we? Oh, only 10 minutes in. Bang on. Get your top tip done. We'll be back to work.
My top tip was someone described competition as how we shop in a supermarket, and I really liked it, so that's why I want to share it. So they were basically saying, you know, when you're trying to decide for your USP or you're trying to decide for what you offer to people.
What's a USP?
Unique selling point, sorry. Unique selling point. When you're trying to decide what it is your offering is, and some people will then say, oh, well, we can only appeal to people, say you've got a location, we can only appeal, this is obviously what this thing is in relation to. We can only appeal to like X amount of people within X amount of miles within location X. So when he was describing it, he said, where do you shop for your food? So obviously, wherever it is, shop where it is. And he said, how many supermarkets do you drive past to get to that supermarket that you always go to? And you're counting it, and I was like, well, there's 4 that I drive past. So it was like, so it's not a case of saying, well, you're convenient because you're the closest. And some people do shop like that. But if you look at how you live your life, you will travel to the thing that you like or get the value for. Yeah. So look at it in the analogy of a supermarket. And I was like, that's genius because it's true.
So how do you relate that to what we do then?
To Defiant? It's just, you know, like when it's how you reach those people and the value in which you reach them. Like I say, generally it's specific to location, which we don't have. But it's not like we can just do Derbyshire or we just do Midlands or we even just do UK. Like for us, there's so many. Like I ordered something the other day, and it was last week. And I was like, where the hell is that parcel? And I didn't go on, and I obviously didn't read how long the delivery would take. And even though it then said it was shipped, it was still another week. So it's been a 2.5 week shipping period. That because it's obviously coming from wherever, and I didn't even look at it. I just shopped because I liked it.
Yeah.
So it's then not a case of you're shopping because that's I'm the right customer for that type of product. All the other bits are irrelevant. So it's opening your mind to think. If you get it right, you get your messaging right, you get your customer avatar or your target market right, and you get in front of the right people. It doesn't matter how far they have to travel or what other competitors they're not looking at. You just need to make sure that you get the right message to the right people. Yeah,
and it's like that with like other services that you might consume, isn't it? Like you drop onto a good builder, a good mechanic, or a good gardener, you never go anywhere else until they stop doing what they're doing, and then you're gutted that you've got to find a new one. So it's like they're providing a good service that you're comfortable with, and that they won't look anywhere else, will they? Which is similar to driving past the supermarkets, isn't it?
Yeah.
I walk down to mine because it's 5 minutes away, so I don't really like.
Maybe you're not that person.
But I do have certain things though that I don't like from there
that you will drive.
So I'll drive for. Yeah. So yeah. Right. What is your favourite supermarket?
I shop in Aldi.
Aldi.
Yeah.
I don't know what mine is, you know.
Morrison's or Sainsbury's.
Morrison's is the one that I use the most because it's close. But like Sainsbury's, like I've been this morning to Sainsbury's, got some Bakewell tart naked bars. I don't have them in Morrison's. The bang on. But yeah, so maybe Sainsbury's then. But it's about fucking $5 more expensive a shop. And what's this? Right, now we're on to pet peeves almost by default. What is this shit what they all do now? You'll be able to tell me why. Why can't the price just be the price? Why do I need a fucking Nectar card, a More card, a Club card? What do Aldi have?
Because there's you know the reason for that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking.
So if you don't, well, it's one of those that the people that know most about their customers provide the best service. It means that they can stock correctly. So if you've got a More card and have got an incentive to show people your buying habits, which the incentive is money off, then they can stock better. They know what's popular. They know where the offers need to go. They know, say it's on a downside, you then get that email that, funnily enough, is exactly what you've been buying that's suddenly on offer that encourages you to come in and then spend more. So the more data you have, which we bang on about constantly, the more data you have, the better service you can provide to your customers, and you can hold on to your customers. So it makes perfect sense that they would do a loyalty or an incentive to you to give them your buying habits.
Yeah, so it's no coincidence, is it, when you shop at Sainsbury's and that little card comes out thing when you've spent over a certain amount, it's just for what you always buy, and you're like, oh my God, how did they know? But like, it's because that's what they're doing.
I think it's very clever. Yeah. Very, very clever.
Yeah. So, pet peeves, let's get straight in.
Are we going to go, you go, I go?
Yeah. I need to go first because I've been thinking about it.
Go on.
It's probably my number one because it relates to traffic. Fucking lollipop people. And I say people, not in the woke way, just because sometimes they're men and sometimes they're women. I'm not doing that to be PC, because if I thought I were, I'd just say lollipop men, because pet peeve is woke shit at all.
Okay,
but anyway, lollipop men, right? And it's not, right, this is why. They're fucking redundant, right? Because if your kid, because mostly kids use them, but I see some adults use them and all, and that makes me want to just drive over them. But like, if your kid isn't capable of crossing a road, you shouldn't be letting it roam the streets anyway, because it can't cross a road. It could die. There's not a lollipop man on every road. And if your kid can cross the street, don't need a lollipop man. And they're always at fucking traffic lights. Some of them just press a button and then tootle across with a little stick, waving it around. And there's one near where I live that dances, right?
I love him. So get off his back.
God, I hate him so much.
It makes me smile every single time I drive past him.
God, he's like there body popping with his twirling his stick, like...
He's happy.
Why?
don't all have to be miserable. Yeah. He's having the best time of his life, and he makes, well, the majority smile as you drive past him. It picks up my day. I love it. If they all did that, you might not have a problem with him. It'd be like, who can do it better?
But I just think, what's pointing him?
It's part of the community.
Don't give me that shit.
Well, that's nice. You know, like, you could high five your lollipop ladies.
No, but what's the point of them in general when they're always at traffic lights or crossings? And like I said,
not always.
Well, mostly.
Mostly.
And also, like I said, there's no kids. Well, there might be, but then it's just natural selection, and it serves parents right. If you're letting your kid roam the streets without teaching it how to cross a road, to be fair though, I have been run over twice, so maybe I should shut up.
Yeah, you needed a lollipop person.
One time I was going for a kebab though, I was just in a kebab stronghold. I couldn't concentrate on anything.
Are you all right?
No.
Right, let me move on to mine before you we do the entire podcast.
Let us know in comments though. Fucking lollipop people, we don't like them.
Unless you see the dance around. What's that road?
It's
not Newbold Road, is it?
High Street, Whittington High Street.
Well, I love him. Mine's road rage. Being in the car with someone with road rage, and it happened to me the other day, and I know that they listen, so you'll know who you are. We were in the traffic. Granted, it was bad traffic. One of our streets around us had a massive water burst, so everyone was rerouted, and it'll happen in rush hour, I've got no doubt. It was a legitimate road with a junction that had right or left. Mm-hmm. And he was getting so angry with the fact that people were turning right. But I was like, but that's like a legal move. Like, why are you angry that people turn right? And he said, because there's another way to get to Chesterfield that's not this way through Somerset, so it all backs up. I was like, well, how do you know that they all live around here? How do you know they're not just on their way? And he was like, because I know. And he was getting so angry about it. And it made me laugh, because I just thought, how can you get angry about something that is that's a legal move? And he was like, I bet you do it all the time. I said, of course I do. My mum lives there and my house is over there. So this is the road that I would drive past. He said, well, why don't you go that way? It's quicker. I was like, well, this way's shorter. But in general, road rage. So people getting angry for no reason when no one can hear you. And then if you're on your own, by all means. But when other people are in the car, I think it just something needs to be contained.
I think like road rage is one of them for me, where it's like, if you're mad at traffic or mad at that, that's just stupid. Like, because that's just part of the road. The times I have flare-ups with that sort of is when people...
You have them a lot?
Yeah, but it's people. It's people in general that are fucking stupid and just like, cut across 3 lanes without even looking, and then you have to stop and take action. It's just dangerous. That's what winds me up. But like, I'm never like sat there in traffic lights going, fuck's sake, there's fucking traffic, because like, I just think that's just part of being on a road, isn't it? But like, idiots, whether they be in a car, in the airport, in a supermarket.
Pardon a lollipop stick.
Yeah. Well, he might not be an idiot. Probably a predator. But Yeah, so like that actually, I've just covered some of mine there.
What was your next one?
Airports and drivers. Airports wind me up because everyone's fucking about. It's like they're letting the kids carry the cases, getting in the way. Like when you're in an airport, right? You're either there to go on holiday or you're coming home. So you think you'd have a bit of, something about you. If you're going on holiday, you're excited, let's get through security, sit down, have a pint.
Right.
So get out of the way and take your belt off before you get to Bing. Of course, you've got to take your belt off. We've known that for years. Ever
Okay, the
since
security
America made
bit
it
is
up.
a bit annoying.
Yeah. And then when you get back, they're like trudging along because they just got back from. Surely you want to go home now. You don't want to be in an airport. Get moving. So yeah, then. But I could go on all day with them. But the next one on my list is people eating and making noise.
Oh yeah, it's loud swallows and chewers.
Disgusting thing. Like I don't understand it. Like how are you? Just close your mouth. Like I accept a bit of noise because if you've got your mouth closed, you're trying your best. You know what I mean?
True.
But when people eat with them, oh my God. And when you're on phone, if you're eating and you're on phone, you should be shot. You should be took outside and shot.
Can you drink?
You can, but don't be a slurper. You know what I mean? There's a time and a place for slurping. It's not when you're on phone to me. But I think if I'm on phone to someone and they start eating, I just hang up. I don't even say anything. I'm like, no, it's not happening, mate. Go on. Don't matter who it is. I've done it on work calls before. I'm like, are you fucking? I'm out. Like,
don't need to be liked, do you?
Well, they're not going to be liked, are they, them? So, like, no one likes that.
Very, very true.
Remember, I've got a very good mate that eats with his mouth open. And I remember thinking to myself one time, I wonder what he does when he goes on a date with a bird if they go for food, because...
He just eats that's his normal.
Yeah, I know, but, like, what if it didn't earn? It'd be like hers. Yeah.
What?
What if it isn't her way? You know what I mean? She'd just be like, you all right, mate? Like, I'm out. So,
I mean, that is true. I know. It was Ed when he went on a date, and the one he went on a date with held the knife and fork in the wrong hands, so he just left. I was like, "That's a no."
Yeah, but knowing Ed though, like, are you sure they weren't just in a different because they were face on to him? It just looked different.
What? No, literally had the fork in one hand and knife in another.
I'm joking.
So yeah, never went back on a date. What was the other one? Oh yeah.
Well, that worked out well for you though, didn't it?
Yeah. One was that. What was it? Oh yeah, he wouldn't brush his teeth at night.
Ew.
That really upset me.
What do you mean?
Years and years ago, I was dating this guy, and he was like, I don't need to brush them at night, so I brush them again at morning. I was like, oh no.
Oh God, that's like that old thing. Where did you draw the line then? I'm not going to wipe my ass because I'm just going to have a shit again.
Yeah, that's a no.
What? You're getting in bed with a girl and you're not going to brush your teeth? That's a surefire way to not get any, isn't it?
Yeah, no. That was another. What was the one yesterday? Like that.
You're on it now.
That.
All right, we're on a fucking podcast.
Bit like repetitive.
Yeah, not enough.
Well, it's like you when you wiggle your leg.
Yeah, but it's not hurting no one, is it?
Yeah, but it's just annoying.
Yeah, but why?
Because it doesn't. It's not silent.
I'm doing it now. No,
you're not.
You know I am. Look.
Where? So you do it with your leg.
I never sit still. Like.
No, I know, but it's that I find that annoying as well. I mean, when people are on,
she's on a roll, yeah.
Doing calls and they click, and it's repetitive. It's the long-term repetitive of something, and I just think, how are they not noticing that? It's very irritating.
But you don't do it. It's just it's like a tick, innit?
Yeah.
People just do stuff that I don't know, subconscious stuff, I guess. But another one for me.
Go on.
Automation. Now, don't get me wrong. When it works, it is beautiful. But fuck me. You know when you ring Sky because your internet don't work and they've got a robot lady for half an hour telling you that you should use the website because it's a quicker way to fix it. You're like, fucking internet's broke up. Like, shut up. Just get me through to someone. I hate automation that don't work. Or when it's similar because we live in this world where automation is, I suppose, becoming more prevalent and it is becoming more intelligent. But when it suggests things for you that you don't want, that get in the fucking way of what you're looking for, that winds me up. Because I'm like, you're trying to fucking help, just fuck off. Like when you're typing something, it's like, oh, did you mean this? Oh, let me finish typing it and I'll tell you. Like, that really pisses me off. And it does. And I think the challenge of that is, from a customer point of view, if you're having a bad customer experience and then you go to a chat bar or bad automation or bad AI as a consumer, you're already upset. Hence why you're contacting customer service. And by upset, I mean you've obviously got a challenge with the service that's being provided by whoever it may be. And then you get faced with that. So then by the time you get through to an actual person who's just trying to do the job, you're that fucking wound up and fuming that they get both barrels, and it's just a bad experience for all. So I know that we need automation, of course we do, but it's just got to be better. And I know it will constantly evolve, but I feel like when we're in a position to do that sort of stuff, when we expand to the point where we'll need that sort of thing, I think you just have to get it right. You don't just do stuff because everyone's doing it and deliver it before it's right. I think customer service, which is on my list because bad customer service is a massive pet peeve of mine. It's the entire end to end. It doesn't matter. Like, you've just made that easier for you as a business to throw some fucking AI bot in there. But what's it actually done? Because I've still had to come through to that person. All you've done is degrade my experience as a customer. So say I spend half an hour with your chatbot and it determines that I need to speak to an agent. Like, I'm still speaking to the agent. All you've done is fuck me. You haven't saved yourself any time. You haven't saved. And if it can evolve to the point where it can actually be a bit more, I don't know, intuitive, then that's great. But we've all done it, when you'll go on a list, it'll give you a list of options to report your fault. And you're like, well, it's none of them. And there isn't another. And it's like,
all it needs to do is have that extra button.
It's just, that's really poor, that, because then you end up getting through to someone because you have to fake it. And then they're like, oh, you're in the wrong department. I'm like, fucking hell, I'm going to kick off. So that automation and bad customer service they're probably, well, just below lollipop people.
Oh, okay. Lollipop being at the top.
Yeah. Go on, I want one more from you before we call in.
Like the last bits of like jars or milk.
Well, and people really just chucking back in cupboard.
And then when you go to pick it up, you think, oh yeah, I've already got some, and there's nothing in it. That really bothers me.
Special place in hell for them people that put that shit back.
Or like the lid's not on properly, and they've just placed it, and then when you pick it up, it falls out of your hand and smashed on the floor. That's another one. Happened with juice the other day. So things like that, and I think how just finish it.
Finish it, or just put it back, because it's people like that. They're like, whether they mean it or not, subconsciously.
They probably don't.
No, but that's
just
the point.
Subconsciously,
someone will do that for me. It's just that, in it. Like, in life, people that are like that are just like, when you're like, oh, someone will sort that. It don't matter. like I remember Elliot at gym the other day, someone had broke something and just put it back. And they were like, you had no idea who it is, but they'd just gone, oh, fuck it, it's someone else's problem. You know what I mean? It's that kind of mentality in it. I find stuff like that. I just think that's because people don't take responsibility, whether it is like putting an empty packet back in, not screwing someone. People just don't take responsibility for their actions, and the only way to teach them people is to fucking bollock them every time they do it. But then you're the dickhead because they don't even know they're doing it, because they're that fucking in their own little world, I guess. But that's why I'm probably, I live on my own. It's all right, because anything I do in it is great. It's my fault. You're like, fucking hell, who's left? With me.
True. Right, did you have one more that you wanted to get off your chest?
No, I think it's done me well, this therapy session, But like, actually, a pet peeve. I don't like the phrase pet peeve. I think that's a bit. Yeah. What does it even mean?
No idea.
No
what does it actually mean?
No, I don't know.
I should have researched them.
Yeah. But luckily, we called it what pisses you off instead of what's your pet peeve.
Much better.
But I think a lot of stuff winds me up, but like, I get
singing. That was another one of mine.
Yeah, me singing, apparently.
No, anyone singing.
Oh, is it anyone?
If you're on your own,
I'll tell you that.
You can belt one out and you can pretend you're opera, but opera.
What if Rod Stewart dropped in and started singing fucking?
If you're paid to do it and it is your talent, fine.
Okay.
All for it. But when there is someone better singing it on the radio, on speaker or anything, let them do what they're paid to do.
So people singing there.
People singing. Unless you can sing. If you can sing and it sounds absolutely beautiful, love all that. But when you can't...
You keep narrowing it down. It's just going to be about me in a second.
No. Honestly, absolutely anybody. Absolutely anybody, especially when you don't know the lyrics.
What do people sing then?
Well, just anything that they think it is. What was the... Oh, I wish I'd have remembered. My friend from school, she used to, what was it? It was something about a fish, and it wasn't. Oh, anyway, by the by. But she used to sing it out loud and be really confident about it. We're like, you do know those aren't the lyrics, don't you?
And she didn't.
No. She was like, yeah, no, I do know now, but mine sounds better.
She's owned it.
Oh, yeah, smashed it. But that's another one of mine.
Well, I have these outbursts of like what could be considered anger, but they're not. They're just, I get stuff out of my system and it's gone. You know what I mean? So that's why I might seem to have quite a few pet peeves and quite a few.
When you say it's out your system, it's just out your system till you see it again.
Yeah, depending on what it is, because some stuff I just can't believe it still happens. Like every time he body pops at top of Whit Hill, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time. You know what I mean?
Whereas I'll circle back and watch it
Yeah.
again.
Maybe that's why we have a good balance.
Yeah.
Right.
Smashed it.
We're done?
Yep.